So I'm wandering around like I do. Thought I'd take a little walk through the woods again, not intending to video anything at all. The camera's even in the truck. And I kicked that out of the ground. Almost stepped on it. Wasn't paying attention. We're going to talk about that for a minute. It's cold. May look for a few more of those. I'll be right back. I'm Dale Verts. I'm a Hickbilly snowman. Well, that's something, isn't it? I actually come up in here to see, make sure I had some wood piled up. I cut it a while back. Not a big one, but still pretty cool, isn't it? A deer trail. I thought, I'm gonna walk in there, just take a little walk around. It's such a beautiful day. I kicked it out. I didn't see it that one time. It was all it was poking up, so that's a cool start. I'm gonna do this real quick. I used to shed hunt a lot. I used to do a lot of things a lot. Shed hunting can be pretty fascinating, and I'm not ready for this. I'm going to tell you how I would usually do it. I'm going to tell you how cold it is. It's 9 degrees. A little bit of breeze. We got about 3.5, not quite 4 inches of powdery snow. That's not too bad to find sheds. Now, I wasn't paying. Actually, I was looking off in the distance because I thought I saw something move. And I kicked that thing out just like you drive over them with tires and whatever else. Antlers can be tricky. They're just like mushrooms and arrowheads. They're where they're at. Although sometimes you find them like on a deer trail here. Obviously is good. I'm going to talk about some of the places I find them more regular and the way I go about it before I get froze to death. It is chilly out here. 9 degrees. It's amazing. Yeah, I like my antler hunting. I even used to make antler traps and use corn this time of year to try to loosen the antlers up. Sometimes you'd find them at the trap. More often you'd find them near the trap, which taught me something about where deer lose their antlers anyway. And just wandering around in the woods like this is not horrible, especially if it was not 9 degrees. I find a lot of them alongside of roads. I always look around ditches, creek crossings, because simply that's where the deer jump and bounce, and they're more likely, in my opinion, to lose antlers. I've seen a deer lose its antlers that way before. I watched a deer cross road from me once. It jumped the fence, hit, and both sides fell off. It wasn't a big buck, but both sides fell off at the same time. I thought that was pretty cool. One advantage, though, if they're losing antlers now, which here it is, 3rd week of February, they're losing antlers here in Missouri. You got a trail like this is a better trail yet. You can see where the deer have been. So, not necessarily have to look for antlers where they haven't been. That makes sense? But ditches, sides of roads. When I'm driving down the road this time of year, I'm constantly looking from side to side, especially where I know deer cross a lot. And more than once, I found antlers that way, sometimes in the road itself. Fields, field edges, food sources, wherever they're eating at. That's like that antler trap thing with corn in it. They get in there, they get their antlers hung up. It's a food source. They're going to more likely to lose antlers nearby. And what happened then, I'd put those little cages out, woven wire, and I only found one antler once in the deal. But where they entered and left the field, there's one spot there. That's where most of them were, within 50, 60 yards of that trap. I found them fairly regular. I did that for 2 years. It's kind of cool. I found 11 one year and 14 another. I only had one match set out of all those. How's that for cool? That's a lot of bucks. Man, chilly. An advantage to hunting antlers in the snow like this is they're way more visible than they are. I mean, they blend in so well with leaves and debris and stuff on the ground. This is about as much snow as I like to see, 3 or 4 inches. And you can, if you're looking careful, they're poking out of that snow. Like I wasn't looking a minute ago. Heck, I stepped on it. But if you're looking, you can see them. Now, one thing that I used to do when I seriously antler hunted is bring my binoculars. You can get at the heads of hollers and you can do a lot of glassing. And it's amazing how they jump out at you when you start looking for them. And once you find one set, it's like a mushroom. Once you find one, it's easier to find the rest of them. This pretty white snow, though, I can look out there a long ways and say there's no antler. For sure. No big enough to pick up anyway. Pretty awesome. I wish it wasn't so cold. Like I have anything else to be doing. Also, it helps to have bucks to start with. I don't know where the bucks have been the last couple months. I haven't been seeing very many. Obviously, there was one there in the last few days. It's nice to have concentrations. Like I said, this time of year, the food sources. Obviously, if you got some sort of grain still out, if you got winter wheat, something the deer are going to, it's more likely. Concentration of deer make concentration of sheds, obviously. I'm going to do a little loop through here, though. I'm not dying yet. Very fresh sign. That or it's jelly beans. I think it's probably not jelly beans. Like I always do, I got to talk about legalities. So I understand some places shed hunting's not legal. I hear out west you can't pick up antlers, which I guess there's money in them. Years ago, a guy I knew up north Missouri found one side of a shed. It was 11 points even. Scored 123 inches just one side of a rack. He was offered ungodly money for that thing. I mean, crazy amount of money. And I don't know what happened after that, because I don't know if it's even legal for him to sell it. So there's money in it. So if it's not legal, don't do it. There you go. It is not hard to get permission to antler hunt. Farmers hate antlers. Boy, there's a bunch of droppings around here. I get fascinated with stuff like deer poop. Farmers hate antlers. Antlers flatten tractor tires and equipment tires. I mean, they hate antlers with a passion. Most farmers around here hate deer anyway. Ask permission. Make sure it's not against the law to pick up sheds wherever you live. It's a fascinating thing to do. It's a good thing to take family out. Maybe not on a 9-degree breezy winter day. I found sheds from December 24th into March. The problem is, of course, squirrels and chipmunks and whatever else starts eating on them. Chew them up pretty good. Of course, that adds some character in the antler too. I've got some that are really chewed up, kind of interesting. But if you want to find good sheds, you need to be out here early enough as they're dropping them. Just like kind of like arrowhead hunting and mushroom hunting, you got to cover some miles. I mean, serious shed hunting, I would say I'll spend 6 hours doing it and probably cover 200 or 300 acres, maybe more. Said you get a place you got good visibility with those binoculars is really cool, because you can scope real slow and they stick up like a sore thumb once you see the first one. Just like mushroom hunting, until you find the first one, sometimes your eyes aren't tuned in, but they poke up out of this 3 or 4 inch tall snow just like they're supposed to. They don't look like a stick, they look like an antler. I wish I'd seen that one ahead of time. I'm glad I had the camera in the truck anyway. It seems to be an ongoing thing with me lately. Try to keep a camera with me all the time. Whew. It's funny, I've got over here about 40 or 50 yards off those 2 trails, and there ain't hardly been a deer in here one. There's a set of tracks over there from during the snow, when it first was snowing. Here's another set, but no big numbers of deer. Of course, that may be bucks then too. Like they do, they travel parallel but separate from does. Here's a few more. Yeah, I wish I had me a good food source. In this part of the country, they're still digging acorns up. Once in a while you'll see it right there. Deer come up there and dug there and turned and walked right back out. Had something he smelled there he liked. Of course, squirrels do it too, but that's deer. But there's no concentrated food source to concentrate the deer. So again, it's good, healthy work to get out here and walk. It doesn't kill anybody too much. snow's not so deep. Well, too deep snow kills the idea anyway. Scanning out ahead of me though, looking for that antler tip or tips poking up. Like I said, they don't look anything like a tree that way. They look like a brush or a tree limb. But you put them out there on bare ground, they don't look like, unless you see them shining, which I've done that too. Because limbs don't shine. Yeah, if I had binoculars, see how flat that is out through there. I'd get me a place next to a tree and I'd sit there and I'd just glass the heck out of it. Except I don't do that anymore. I haven't been shed hunting in 4 or 5 years. Just don't have time. Don't have time today hardly. Well, I got all the time in the world. It's just cold. I'm being a wuss. But I thought I'd talk about that. Once I kick out one of the guys and take a slow walk anyway. A lot of acres, a lot of stuff to look at. I like being out in the woods anyway, so if I find an antler, that's great. If I don't, maybe I'll see something else, learn something. There ain't any deer tracks inside of me right here, right now, though. That is really interesting. Again, you learn so much walking in the snow. Loaded up with tracks over there. I see one set over here to my right, 10 yards. I don't see a deer track one for 20 or 30 yards this way. That's just weird. Of course, deer don't go everywhere. You learn that when you're deer hunting, right? So, okay, that's it. I'm gonna make this loop around the truck. If I find something, I'll turn the camera on before I pick it up, of course. But I wanted to share that with y'all. Another winter walk, and still no deer tracks. No tracks of any kind. Wow, that's kind of weird. Find places they jump. Find places where they jump, they land, their antlers fall off, where they're jarred loose. Find food sources. Get your pair of binoculars. Learn how to use them. Take your time. It's really scanning an area out. Maybe you'll find some antlers. God bless you guys. Talk at you later.